MMA locker room here with Tony Picks. You know what it is. It's the fight business, and we're about to see which fights are going to finish and which fights are going to go the distance. This week, UFC Fight Night Tampa, headlined by Joaquin Buckley taking on Colby Covington. The last fight night of the year. The last UFC event of the year. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over all 13 fights, and I'm going to give you guys my predictions on if they're going to finish or if they're going to go the distance. Also, to let you guys know how I lean on some of my picks in there too as well. Hey, but let's talk about last week, man. Coming off a monstrous week. We went, 11-3 on our fights to finish and go to the distance on our predictions. And on our predictions for the video, man, we went 11-3 on that as well, man. So shout out to everybody out there, man. Alexander Pantoja won inside the distance. I mean, man, that was a quick fight. The Brian Battle fight, a lot of people thought it might have went the other way, but hey, man, we got a lot of good fights to talk about. But if you guys want to see exactly what I'm betting on this week's card, and you guys want to get my exclusive picks and my packages, head on over to the site right here and get my 3-day package, or else get my exclusive UFC Fight Pass, where I'm going to be going over all my picks and let you guys know exactly what I'm betting on for this week. All right, man, let's go ahead and get it started, man. We got about 13 fights to talk about on here, so let's go ahead and get it started with the first one. Josefine Knutsson going to be taking on Piera Rodriguez. They got the over 2.5 at a -580. They got the under 2.5 at a +380. In this one, short, sweet, I like Josephine Knutsson in here. She's 3-0 in the UFC so far. All of her fights been able to go to the scorecards and win by decision. I think this one's definitely going the distance. The underdog, she's going to have a little bit of upside because Josephine Knutsson does struggle with takedowns. If Piera Rodriguez can get this clinched up against the cage and get some takedowns, might be able to win a round. But overall, the striking on Josephine Knutsson is top tier. I think this one goes to the scorecards. I like Josephine Knutsson to win by decision. All right, next fight taking place. We got Davey taking on Ramon Taveras. They got the over 2.5 at a -130. They got the under 2.5 at +100. All right, so on this one, let's talk about the odds, okay? The odds, line, change, movement. I mean, Ramon Taveras opened up a -125, -130 favorite. Now it's down to a pick'em out there, okay? Actually, Davey Grant's the favorite now on some books out there at a -115. Okay, the reason why is because Davey Grant's a veteran in the sport. Okay, Ramon Taveras only had about 1 or 2 fights in the UFC. He's a guy that his striking's there. His striking defense is not there. Davey Grant is a tough fighter to where he lost decisions on the scorecard. And in a lot of those fights, people thought that he won. To be honest, when the lines usually change and the underdog becomes the favorite, that favorite's been winning at a 70% clip, okay? So if you just follow that trend and that money, it's hard to look away. It's hard to look at Ramon Taveras in this spot, okay? So with that being said, man, I do think this one goes over the 2.5. I do like that bet, okay? That would be, to me, like one of the most solid bets, I think, more than picking a side, because I don't really feel good on either of these fighters. I started off saying Ramon Taveras earlier on this week. And I guess I got to stay in that same mind frame, though, just because I don't really see a path to where any of these fighters are going to put a stamp on it. I think it's going to be a close fight to where you get to that third round and it's just, hey, who really wants it more a little bit in there. All that, man, give me the over in this one. I think this one goes the distance as well. Next fight taking place, we got Miranda Maverick taking on Jamey-Lyn Horth. Miranda Maverick's a big favorite on here. She opened up a -350. She's all the way up to a -500. The over in this fight is at a -540 at 2.5 rounds. And the under is at a +360. The reason why is because women fights, they usually go the distance. This is usually one of those things where you can kind of blind bet women's fights to go over, include like 3 legs in a parlay and cash, right? In this one, I still see the same path and the same victory. Miranda Maverick's an explosive fighter, though. I do see a path to where she can get some ground and pound, maybe on Jamey-Lyn Horth in that third round. So I like Miranda Maverick to win in third round or by decision. And I do like this one to go the distance. And I like Miranda Maverick a lot in this spot. I think she should definitely get it done. Jamey-Lyn Horth, she just fought about 2 months out. And Miranda Maverick, her opponent's been pulling out of fights left and right. This is a spot to where Miranda Maverick was supposed to be fighting fighters up on her trajectory in the ranking. This is a fighter down below her. So I actually think Miranda Maverick might be able to go out here and put a stamp on it. So that's why I say that ground and pound, maybe win can get it done in there. And over here at the locker room, man, we definitely support Miranda Maverick, you know. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it done, man. She sent a picture to my daughter and autographed it way back in the day when we did an interview. So you already know we riding high on Miranda Maverick over here. Let's go ahead and get the job done. All right, next fight taking place, man. This is a good one, man. I was mad when this fight got announced. We got Miles Johns taking on Felipe Lima. Miles Johns is an underdog in this spot, plus 195 on the books. A comeback on Felipe Lima, minus 230. Felipe Lima made his UFC debut against Muhammad Naimov and was able to get the win. He's one of the more explosive fighters in the division. Octagon champion from the different promotion. Miles John, though, man, he's one of those fighters I've been betting on and backing on. And you know what he's going to go out there and do? I've been betting on him as a slight favorite, big favorite in spots. Always comes through. He had a fight scheduled about 2 months ago, and his opponent pulled out. And it was against Cody Garbrandt. That was a fight that was really going to put his name up there. Now he has a way more dangerous opponent. When his first fight got announced, I said, hey, this is probably going to be the first fight I'm going to stay off it and not bet on Miles Johns, right? And then I started thinking about it, and I mean, why am I not going to try to take a shot on him at a plus 200 underdog when I always bet on him as a favorite? I mean, I still think he can win this fight in here. So give me Miles Johns to get it done, man. But the over and the under, we don't know where that's at. I don't have any lines for that in here. I like the over 1.5, but the dangerous finishability of Felipe Lima leaves me a little bit wary on that. Miles John usually goes to the decision in his scorecards as well. All right, next fight taking place. We got a good one, folks. Sean Woodson taking on Fernando Padilla. Sean Woodson, minus 155 on the books. The comeback on Padilla is plus 130. They got the over 2.5 at a minus 230, under 2.5 at a plus 180. Let's talk about both these fighters and what they're good at. Sean Woodson, good boxer for the division. Likes to attack the body. Nice jab, and he throws combos. This is the thing, though. He skates around that ring, and, he doesn't give you guys too many targets to be hit. Fernando Padilla is a guy that's going to march forward, hands up like this. He's going to come forward. You can hit him. He's going to shake his head and keep coming forward. He's good on the mat. Submission specialist, man. He got the sub in his last fight out. I've been watching both these fighters. I'm a fan of both these fighters. And here they got the over 2.5 at a minus 230. I think that's the way to go in here. And I've been back and forth on this fight. So to really give you a pick right now, man, it'll be hard, right? But so when this first fight got announced, I didn't know where the odds would be, but I just thought Sean Woodson has a game plan that could kind of like beat a lot of fighters in the division, especially people who's a little bit slower and, who's just not a dominant grappler or wrestler, right? So I think Sean Woodson gets it done in here, and the money's coming in on Fernando Padilla to where Sean Woodson was a minus 165. Man, if Sean Woodson gets down to that minus 140, man, I might be at that window, man. I'm just waiting to see, man. But yeah, I'm gonna just be honest, man. Like both these guys, I did an interview with Fernando Padilla, a little bit biased always, but I think he can win. But then again, the pick is gonna be Sean Woodson. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are looking for a good underdog, Fernando Padilla in this fight. If you guys are looking for a good underdog in the other fight, Miles Johns. But my pick's gonna be Sean Woodson. I think he can win by decision in here. And I think this one goes the distance, folks. I like the over in this one. Next fight taking place. Joao Alvarez taking on Drakkar Klose. Joao Alvarez is a big favorite. Minus 450 on the books. The comeback on Drakkar Klose plus 360. They got the over 1.5 at a minus 188. Under 1.5 plus 140. All right, let's talk about it real quick. The over 1.5 is something where I can get in and get out and not get too worried about, right? Because Drakkar Klose is a guy to where he likes to get the wrestling implemented in there and, implement takedowns and stuff. He doesn't have one knockout power. It's kind of like he's going to jab you up, and then try to get the wrestling, get you down to the ground. But Joao Alvarez is dangerous, folks. He got that finish upside. His striking's been getting better. He's a guy I've been making money on. His tall, slender frame, his limbs, he can grab you up from any angle and kind of submit you. So even if those takedowns do get brought out, you got to realize, man, Joao Alvarez is dangerous on the mat. But with all that being said, though, that is his weakness, though, man. If he gets taken down sometimes, hey, man, that's how he might lose the fight. And here I think Joao Alvarez wins and he gets it done. The line is off, though. The line is definitely off. Minus 470. Dang, man. Drakkar Klose only got like 2 losses, I want to say, in the UFC. But in here, I like the over 1.5. But I don't think this one's going the whole 15 minutes. So give me the over in at 1.5, and then give me fight not to go the distance in this one, man. All right, next fight taking place. We got Michael Johnson, opened up like a -180 favorite, taking on Ottman Azaitar. Now Michael Johnson's a -200 favorite. Ottman Azaitar +170. The over 1.5 is at a -130. The under 1.5 is at a +100. Michael Johnson, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. You know, he's an explosive boxer out there. He's been fighting everybody. Everybody know who Michael Johnson is. Ottman Azaitar, he's a guy that just has a few fights in the UFC. Explosive puncher, though, man. He comes out there and he throws. All right, this is the thing. The over 1.5, -130, kind of tricky. Because both these guys are going to come out there and bang. And Ottman Azaitar could definitely knock out Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson's been chinny. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The over 1.5, I don't know about that one in this one. And, you know, Michael Johnson's going to be fighting in his backyard. He has the Tampa. This fight's in Tampa. You know, he's from Florida out there. So, man, give me Michael Johnson to win. And then just give me the fight not going the distance in this one. I ain't trying to get tricky and play no over 1.5 or anything. Michael Johnson and fight not go the distance. All right, next fight taking place. All right, Navajo Stirling is going to be taking on Tuco Tokkos. Man, Navajo Stirling -700 favorite. +525 for Tokkos. Over 1.5 -150. Under 1.5 +120. I don't think this fight's going the distance. Give me the under, but I don't want the under 1.5. I'm just taking fight not go the distance in this one. I'm not going to get too tricky in there. Navajo Stirling, I think he finished his opponent on the Dana White Contender Series later on in the fight. City Kickbox Prodigy, Izzy Alessandra, been hyping him up for a long time. I do think Navajo Stirling wins inside the distance. Let's give him the prediction. All right, it's coming out. Jab, attacks the body, throws a kick to the body, slips that punch, head kick, knockout. What round? Round 1 or round 2. Navajo Stirling gets it done, just like that. All right, man. Next fight taking place. Good one. Adrian Yanez taking on Daniel Marcos. I mean, this is crazy right here. Adrian Yanez opened up the favorite at -170. And Daniel Marcos was +140. Line, movement, switch. Daniel Marcos is -220 on the books, and Adrian Yanez is +180. The over 2.5 is at a -130. Let's go ahead and get in with that, man. I like the over 2.5 in here. Adrian Yanez, he can finish a lot of his opponents, but Daniel Marcos, a lot of his fights goes to the distance and go to the scorecards. I'm not going to... Man, this fight's going to be explosive, man. Adrian Yanez has slick boxing, and I don't even want to give a pick in this fight. But if I do got to give a pick, man, I think, man, I like the over, okay? We taking the over 2.5, man. I don't want to give a pick out in this one. I already gave out picks on this one, man. Now it's getting closer and closer and closer. So, yeah. All right, man, let's go ahead and get it done. Adrian Yanez, bring it home, man. Bring it. No. All right, sorry, folks. I got to stick to my real gut, man. I bet Daniel Marcos, man, when he first opened up at a -155. I just thought that, you know, he had a path to victory in this fight. All that to say this, man. Now he's a -218 favorite. And I got to go with my first gut, man. Sometimes I change him as the... You know, it's like this, man. When you interview for certain fighters and stuff, and you know they're your guys, you want to stick to them. But I actually think in this one, the pick's going to be Daniel Marcos, man. So let's go ahead and get it done, man. Next fight taking place. Vitor Petrino taking on Dustin Jacoby. Vitor Petrino -3-1 favorite on the books. Dustin Jacoby +250. I think the line's off. I think it should be like -180, -200 for Vitor Petrino in here. Dustin Jacoby, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. He's a good, talented kickboxer. He just came up short in his last fight out against Dominic Reyes. They got the over 1.5 at a -220. I think this one goes over just because I think Vitor Petrino will mix in the takedowns. He implemented more takedowns in his last 3 fights than he did in his first couple of fights. 15 takedowns in those. And here, that's his path to victory because Dustin Jacoby, he's a kickboxer. And if you just get him down on the ground, you might be able to win by some ground and pound. Give me Vitor Petrino to get it done. Actually, man, I'm sorry, folks. I think Dustin Jacoby's gonna come out and get the surprise on some people, but not today, man. All right, so I gotta stick with it, man. But I just don't like where the line's going. Victor Petrino gets the done. Give me the over in this one. All right, next fight taking place. We got Manel Kape taking on Bruno Silva. All right, Manel Kape 3-1 favorite on the books. They got the over 2.5 at a -175, under 2.5 at a +135. Bruno Silva is a live underdog in the spot, +295. I seen Manel Kape just lose 2 times in the UFC when he came in, and then I actually seen him lose rounds and fights. In the fights that he ended up coming back to win. In other words, he's a guy that's going out there and he's counter striking and stuff, but he's explosive, and you know, he does have power in his hands. He's a fast fighter. Bruno Silva, if he can get the wrestling going a little bit, we'll see. Man, it's gonna be a lot closer fight on here, man. The line is a little bit off with me. Over 2.5. A little bit tricky. I do think this one goes to the scorecards, though. Yeah, so give me the over 2.5 and give me fight goes the distance. Next fight taking place, co-main event. Cub Swanson taking on Billy Quarantino. Billy Quarantino is -155 on the books. Over 2.5 is going to be -150. The under 2.5 is +120. What you guys want to do with it? I think this one's going to get to the over, man. Billy Q's a fighter that takes damage in all of his fights. First round usually loses that. Second round comes back. Cub Swanson, he done fought the who's who. And, you know, he ain't been knocked out by all of them. So I think this one's definitely going the distance in here. And give me Billy Q to get done. All right, now let's go with the prediction. This is what's going to happen. Billy Q's going to come out in that first round, you know. He's going to pop the jab. And what's he going to do? He's going to slip a couple of punches. All right, Cub Swanson's going to slow down in the second round. Billy Q, let's get the job done, man. In front of your Tampa crowd. Let's go ahead, man. I got Billy Q in this one. Next fight taking place, we got Colby Covington taking on Joaquin Buckley. All right, Colby Covington is -270 on the book right now. And Colby Covington is getting disrespected as an underdog. +220. Man, I done made so much money with Colby Covington. And I done lost a couple of times with him too. Joaquin Buckley, though, man, he's 5-0 in this division. They got the over 4.5 at a -145. It's the reason why is because Colby Covington fights usually goes to the distance and the scorecards. I do think this one goes to the scorecards, man. This is the thing. Joaquin Buckley hasn't been in 5-round fights. We'll see how he can do and hold up in his gas tank in this one. The pick's going to be Joaquin Buckley. I still do think he can win. And I do like fight going the distance, but if I'm going to say a prediction, man, I could maybe see Joaquin Buckley knocking out Colby Covington in round 3 or round 4. You know, so that's kind of like, if you ask me, all right, how does this fight play out? I'm either going to say Joaquin Buckley's going to get the knockout, like round 3, round 4, you know, or else I'm going to say Colby Covington's going to pick it up in those later championship rounds, round 3, 4, 5, and win by decision, you know, and just kind of put on a pace and, you know, and see if Joaquin Buckley slows down. But, yeah, that's the way I see it going in this one. What about you guys out there, man? All right, man, it's been a good year here at Tony Picks, man. So if you guys want my exclusive picks, my exclusive bets, you know what to do. All right, now let's give you guys a parlay to get you paid, all right? Last event of the year. Okay, man, let's go. All right, we're going to take Josefine Knutsson. We're going to take Victor Petrino, and then we're going to take let's just take those two. Hey, all right, man. And then let me know what you guys are betting on too. This is Mills, man. And then we're just going over the fight business, and we're gonna see exactly which fights are gonna finish and which fights don't go the distance. All right, man. MMA Locker Room here. See you guys soon. Happy Christmas, man.